So.
But that was not the one I really wanted to. I wanted to ask you about this one. How do you feel? Because somehow in my mind, I'm thinking that these people have no respect for the Prime Minister of a country. I don't know if you feel the same. I'll just read this to you.
Yes.
He wrote a letter to the chairman of the BBC, complaining about 2 journalists that came here. And the chairman actually wrote back to him and said, in his response on Wednesday, he said he was obviously concerned about what Gonzalez had to say. He, however, noted the role of the BBC's trust in handling complaints against the BBC. Quote, as you may know, the BBC's trust, which I chair, is a sovereign body of the BBC and its principal strategic authority. However, the trust role is distinct from that of the BBC's management and has no responsibility for the day-to-day editorial decision or operational matters, the chairman said. The trust does have a role in BBC's complaints process, but this is at the final stage, hearing complaints on appeal. I am therefore passing your letter straight away to the acting director general, who is the editor-in-chief of the organization, who will come back to you as soon as possible. Patton said if Gonzalez is unhappy with the BBC's initial response to his complaint, you can of course escalate your concerns. I've asked to be kept informed about what happens. He further wrote. End of discussion.
Escalate your concern.
Yeah, he said if he's unhappy with the BBC's initial response to your complaint, you can of course escalate your concerns.
You know, I was trained there.
Yes.
I have studied nowhere else but in England. And I understand what they write, what the implications, and what is really behind what they write, sometimes what they mean by them. You know what the Englishman said, the pen is mightier than the sword. And when they really want to make a statement, they do so in writing. They're very good at recording things. But the term escalate your concerns in the manner in which it was put to a prime minister of a country, I'm wondering if it's not like them to write like that. And it seems to me that there's some disdain
that's how
in the manner in which it's written, because usually the type of wording and the type of the style of the writing from them in respect to formal matters, especially prime ministerial matters, will never be in that way.
True.
And it is clear to me that there's you're saying don't annoy me with this. I mean, I don't want to deal with that.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
It really
doesn't sound diplomatic.
You see, the thing is this: is that I try my best to stay away from these discussions until they've reached a level with which, perhaps, with all the evidence, I can make pronouncements and give my opinion in it. But I listened attentively to much of the Prime Minister's responses and so on, his statements on the radio. But there's one thing I wish to say though.
Yes.
And that is, a number of persons keep saying that the BBC will not behave to other prime ministers and so on, and they're wrong.
But I saw them rush.
I have seen them in front of number 10 Downing Street.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are.
They behave the same way to
They
me.
will push the camera in your face, and they'll try to take photographs, and they'll try to get you to make a statement. That is the way they are.
That's the other sort of.
They're very aggressive. And to say that the conduct against our Prime Minister is exceptional.
No.
In that it doesn't happen to other Prime Ministers. That is wrong.
This is right.
Because I have seen that happen to a number of leaders throughout the world.
But you see them on television all the time.
Yes. So I think that to write in response to that, to try and extract from the BBC an apology for that conduct, I think it was something that wasn't thought out carefully. Because what has happened now is that you've had a response which, to my mind, clearly demonstrates disdain. Because it's obvious that the chairman is saying that, well, this is not something that
really warrants some attention. Really,
you are trying to extract from us some sort of apologies, if to say they've done something extraordinary, out of the way, exceptional. And that is not the case. And I will say this to you, that before he commended his thoughts to writing, he would obviously have consulted those persons who may well have been responsible for the conduct, the cameramen and the BBC men.
Yeah.
And would have heard from them what their story will be about the issue. And also may have some information with respect to what they're trying to do. To respond like that to a prime minister. And in England, they try their utmost. If there's one country in the world that tries to accord with international law, it is England. Under international law, we have what they call the doctrine of equality of states, which means that all states are equal, no matter your size geographically, in terms of the numbers of persons living there. Once you are a member of the United Nations, you fall under the Charter. And also, you are supposed to be a state in which the principle of non-intervention applies, in which people ought not to come into your country and do what they feel like, because you are supposed to be a sovereign state, an independent state, and you should be treated as an equal. These are things that those persons in England do understand. And in responding to a prime minister of an independent country, which falls under international law and under the doctrine of equality of states, they will be very mindful of the type of language that they use in response to a letter from a prime minister. Now, it is clear to me that that somewhere along the line, they may have felt the need to respond to the letter in the way they did. And to my mind, it has an essence of flavor of disdain.
Yeah, that's why they got it from the first time. Yeah.
And then you